Hi you guys, happy Wednesday and welcome back to my channel. The ANC has removed themselves from the Tembisa scandal, the looting that happened in Tembisa. And they're saying that they welcome law enforcement to fight corruption and that justice is served, to a point that the health committee chair even came and said that, you know what, we welcome the SIU report. They're doing really well to fight corruption. We do not want corruption. Imagine people taking money that is meant for the poor to eat it, to squander the money. And the question remains, wasn't it that some of the members of the ANC were implicated in this whole thing? Instead of you addressing those members that are implicated, you are here supporting the SIU report as if you guys have nothing to do with the Tembisa hospital scandal. In this video, I wanted us to talk about the ANC response with regards to the SIU report. So it is known about the Tembisa hospital scandal, how people were looting there, receiving tenders. And the question firstly, before we go to anything, who is giving these people these tenders? It's not like these people just receive tenders. There is definitely someone who's giving these people tenders. And in most of these offices, I'm not saying that everybody is an ANC member, but most of these people who hold like serious positions are ANC members. So you're telling me that ANC hires people to loot and then they'll say, we had nothing to do with it. How do you hire someone to loot and then you say that you have nothing to do with it? And besides that, there's a lot of people that have been implicated who are part of the ANC in the scandal. In this video, I wanted us to first start with Sikoko. So to those who don't know Silo Sikoko, so Silo Sikoko also benefited from the Tembisa hospital saga. It is said that he is an ANC Ekurhuleni Treasurer General, and he has 3 companies, including the Nokokoko medical suppliers, which reportedly got 55 contracts worth 14.5 million from Tembisa Hospital between 2019 and 2021. Some contracts are flagged as irregular. We also have Hangwani Maumel, which is Morgan, the man who has benefited a lot, and the SIU report actually implicates him a lot. And it is said that this man has some relations with the president of South Africa, and also the leader or the president of the ANC. And they've not even reported that. It was just that one time where Ramaphosa came and said, no, I don't know this man. I'm not related to this man. Now, to this day, they're not even saying anything. This story is gaining momentum. And the ANC has to come and address this issue of Morgan Maumel. Instead, the president has not said anything about him. They've been quiet. They've not been addressing this whole situation. But they're implicated. So, in other words, the ANC is implicated through their president, because it seems like Morgan Maumela is the nephew of a president. So, address that instead of saying that we welcome the report. No, address serious issues. Thirdly, we have Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa. It is said that Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa has some relations with Vusumuzi Matlala, who has been receiving also a beneficiary of those tenders in Tembisa Hospital. To those who don't know, who is Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa? So Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa is the current ANC Treasurer General. However, she has been an MEC for Health in Gauteng, a Deputy Minister of Health, the Mayor of Tshwane. And when I was checking to see if whether she was the MEC for Health in Gauteng at the time of the Tembisa Hospital scandal, no, she was not. Actually, she was the MEC after the Life Esidimeni situation. Then she came in as MEC after that. Person that was an MEC at the time of the Tembisa scandal, it was Dr. Bandile Masoko. That was the person who was the MEC of Health at that time. So she was not involved. But then the question remains, how is it that she has some relations with Vusumuzi Matlala? Because the Twitter streets are not here to sleep. They are saying that messages between Matlala and Chabeleng, who is the right-hand man of Ramokgopa, indicate that Chabeleng was facilitating security contracts for Matlala at Sanral, when Chabeleng currently bags 12 million a month through irregular PR contracts and at ASCSA to safeguard the country's airports. In exchange, Matlala seems to have provided cash handling services and protection for Ramokgopa and Chabeleng, often dropping bags of cash at the Waterkloof residence and Sunning Hill offices. Allegations, because these are things that the Twitter streets are saying. So this woman, this figure that has some relations with Vusumuzi Matlala is also implicated. Why is it that ANC, you don't address such things? because your president, your treasurer general, and also the Ekurhuleni treasurer general is implicated in these Tembisa hospitals, and knowing these people that have benefited from Tembisa hospital, and some have some relation somewhere somehow. Wanako High is like my sibling, or my relative in a way. So why are you not addressing that instead of saying we welcome the SIU report as if you're not part of the problem? This is what the chair of the health committee said, who is apparently a member of the ANC himself. This is what he said.
That it's only going to get worse.
Absolutely, extremely concerning that we could actually talk about unemployed doctors who also are short of funds. We can talk about not having enough ambulances, shortage of medicines, and yet there are people who go around buying Lamborghinis with the money that was wrongly sent to them in a way that is not deserving. So those things are extremely shocking. In fact, we think this is something that is almost treasonous. It's something that those people died because they could not access services when somebody else is taking so much money and they're actually embezzling them in this way. So we really feel very strong and things actually must be done to these perpetrators.
You see that the ANC is cutting themselves from this situation? Even from this letter. In this letter where they're saying that they have faith in the justice system. Guys, the ANC, let me read this letter for you if you guys, you don't mind. The African National Congress notes and welcomes the report of the Special Investigation Unit into Tembisa Hospital corruption. This much anticipated report is indicative of the law enforcement agencies' determinations to fight corruption at levels. This report is a great honor to the late Babita Deokoran, civil servant and whistleblower, committed towards clean governance and administration and building an ethical developmental state capable of delivering services to the most vulnerable of society. The ANC applauds the progress made in the recovery, the monies siphoned from the state, and attempts to bring to books those involved in the plundering of state resources to the detriment of the poor and the state. The arrest, conviction, and sentencing of those who killed Babita Deokoran is not sufficient nor proportionate to the sanctity of life in the absence of the full recovery of the money stolen from the state. The preservation of the order against those involved in their crafts is a positive development as the net finally closes against those who involved in the craft. You see that they are cutting themselves from this whole situation. They seem as if, we did nothing and we are happy about the freezing of the funds to recover the monies and stuff like that. Your members, the relatives of your members are implicated. How did they get these tenders if they have no relations with the NC people? How? There's no way that you can cut yourselves from this situation. You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem is the NC. You are supposed to deal with these allegations that you guys are hiring your family members to get these funds. They take the fall, but at the end of the day, you are the culprit because you are the one that is allowing your relatives to get these funds. It goes back to that situation, guys. I don't know if you know it. There was a situation that was trending not long ago. I think it was on Saturday. The way it was said that the Minister of Social Development and her 22-year-old niece appointed chief of staff. The corridors of power have once again been turned into a family business. The NC and DA Minister of Social Development has introduced her 22-year-old niece, Lesedi Mabileja, as the new chief of staff, a position carrying a lucrative annual package of 2.4 million. The appointment raises eyebrows, not least because Mabileja is still pursuing a degree in theology with no prior experience in governance or administration. They are used to it. And then now when we find that there was irregularities in this appointment and everything, you guys are going to say that, we welcome the judgment. No, you are part of the problem, ANC. You are part of the problem. You are enabling your siblings and your relatives to benefit from government with irregular tenders. And then you want to come and say, we welcome it. We have nothing to do with it. You have everything to do with it. Nonetheless, I don't know what you guys think. I just wanted to wrap everything up with the MKP stance. They are saying that there must be immediate arrest and prosecution of Morgan Maumela and the laying of new charges against Musumuzi Cat Matala. I definitely agree. That is one of my biggest worries about such reports, is that how sure are we that something is going to be done? How sure are we that justice will be served? At most cases, nothing is done with such cases. Like, they just let them go and people move on as if nothing happened. Are we going to witness the same situation with this one? Because I don't know. I don't foresee them doing something about this situation of the SIU report. Everybody's happy. Yeah, Maumela is guilty. What is guilty? Can you do something about it? Then after you found that these people have spent so much for Sumuzi Ketmatlala, why is it that for Sumuzi Ketmatlala has not been have not been faced further charges? Why is he still facing the charge of Tebogo Tobejan? You see, guys, that we are being fooled here. We are being fooled. Open your eyes. We must open our eyes, because why are they not charging Vusumuzi? And when are we going to see Hangani Maumela? Is Hangani that powerful that after you guys have found that he's part of the corruption of the Tembisa hospital, that he's benefited, he's part of the people who benefited in that over 2 billion? And you're telling me that to date is Wednesday, the week is about to end, and you haven't even arrested him? Oh, guys, we are not here for games. We're not here to play. The ANC saying that, oh, we welcome everything. You are involved, ANC. You are involved. Address this thing of Ramokgopa. Address this thing of Sir Ramaphosa. Address this thing of Sikoko. Sikoko, because Sikoko is part of the people that benefited there in that hospital. Come, address it and stop acting like, oh, yeah, we welcome it. We have nothing to do with it. You have everything. Because those people are not going to be able to get those tenders if you guys didn't give them those tenders. You are in government, and those things happened when ANC was a majority government. Yes, guys, before I can go, I just wanted to say that to those who don't know, the commission is going to commence on the 13th of October. That is because of the inavailability of Commissioner Sibaloyi, who will be attending to her duties as the member of the Judicial Services Commission. And I think this is very problematic. Why take people who are busy to this commission? Are you telling me that these are the only people that are really qualified, and you didn't have additional members that are going to come take over when these ones are gone? You see? And then you guys think that everything will be done within a short space of time. There would be, this thing is going to take long, especially when we have such adjournments or postponements of people who have to go attend other duties. South Africa, guys, we have a lot of people that are qualified. Are you telling me that they couldn't find anyone to replace Ceci? Joe, it's a lot.
South Africa is a movie. We live in a drama. It's a series. Every day you will be shocked by something new. We have even forgotten what shocked us 2 weeks ago.
And then lastly, I wanted to talk about Julius Malema. So to those who also don't know, he has been found guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition, discharge of a firearm in a built-up area, failure to take reasonable cautions to persons or property, and recklessly endangerment to persons or property. The judgment reaffirms the NPA commitment to uphold the rule of law and proper administration of justice without fear or favor. The charges emanate from the July 2018 EFF rally in Danzane, during which EFF fired a rifle in the air, allegedly belonged to a security company of which Andrew Snyman, Mr. Malema's co-accused, was the director. Since the matter was enrolled 4 years ago, the prosecution maliciously presented its evidence by calling 19 witnesses to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. After the state closed its case, Malema and Snyman subsequently made an application for discharge in terms of Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act, which was dismissed by the court. The matter has been adjourned to 23 January 2026 for pre-sentencing. I'm not gonna lie, I hear a lot of people talking about racism and how that guy, the security guy, also, there's forms of racism. I'm not saying that that's not true. It's definitely a valid argument. And I also think that it's a valid argument that has been made by the EFF that ever since they came from that White House, things have really changed. And they lost that case of hate speech. They lost that case now. This is the second case that they're losing. It doesn't look good for the CIC at all. And this happens after the United States visit. Can say that it just became a coincidence that after that these things are happening. But to a certain degree, the pressure and the efforts that has been put by the AfriForum to fight persons like Julius Malema is now yielding results, to show you that people fight. When people are tired of things, I think we can learn one or two things from AfriForum. That when you want something, you must fight for it. And I think as Black people, we need to fight for certain things that we don't want in our country, including racism. You need to fight like the way AfriForum did. They fought to the point of now we have CIC facing so many charges and being found guilty left, right, and center. He has expressed that he's going to appeal and is going to invite Nugaidobi. I don't know how the outcomes will be, but I think that definitely the state, in my view, has failed to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, because they failed to prove that the gun was real instead of a toy gun, because there's not even one person that has been harmed in the with the audience that was there in the rally. No one has been harmed. And also, how can you say that the person that gave me a weapon to do something that you're finding me guilty on, that person is not guilty? The security, that it's not like they didn't know that Julius Malema does not have the license for that to use that firearm. He knew that very well. For that, he is very guilty. It's like me giving someone a gun who goes and commits a murder. I become an accomplice as much as I didn't even know that the person was going to do that. But the fact that I gave him that gun and that person does not even have a license, I will face the consequences. So with this story, it's I get the racism argument, but I think another thing that we should not forget is that the security guard has always held Julius Malema's hand up until the end. And I want to commend him for this, because this man, even when he was asked to step out after he was found not guilty, out of the box, he still remained. And this man has been faithful to Julius Malema from the time of the ANC. And I think that is very important for us to always bear in mind and think of whenever we're judging him, because other people are throwing him at the bus. Yeah, this guy, yeah, he's no. I just think that definitely the race is there, and political motivation is there. Probably Donald Trump is involved, AfriForum, anything is possible at this time. But I just think that it's unfair to blame this guy that has worked with the CIC until the end. And I think that even if CIC appeals or anything, this man will definitely be there to attend the proceedings. I wouldn't be shocked if he supports the CIC until the end when it comes to this case. I don't know what you guys think. Please comment your thoughts about everything. I'll see you on my next upload. Bye.
These people must not tempt us again. These people who are of the other color must not go back to that racism which drove us to the forest. We are still there. We are still alive. And it's